Once upon a time, in a village called Ulo, lived a very handsome but arrogant prince called Chibuzo. Prince Chibuzo was the only son of King Ikenga and the heir to the ultimate throne of Ulo town. Chibuzo grew up with servants and maidens at his beck and call. He had virtually everything he wanted, which eventually made him arrogant and overbearing. Prince Chibuzo didn't regard anyone that wasn't in his level. He saw everyone as below him and felt he was better than them because he was royalty. Even as a prince, he ruled and handled the people and his servants with so much power and tyranny. As time went on, King Ikenga fell very ill and Prince Chibuzo had to take the stead of his father temporarily. But the tradition demanded that, in the eventuality of his father's demise, he had to be married before he assumes the throne. Prince Chibuzo wanted a very pretty, curvy woman. He wanted a beauty that was out of this world. He wanted to be known for the prince that has the prettiest wife ever. He started his quest for his dream bride. None of the maidens of Ulo was good enough or beautiful enough for him. He went as far as other villages in a quest for a woman befitting to be the wife of Prince Chibuzo. As weeks turned into months, after rejecting all the maidens brought to him from his village, and some of the maidens even refused to marry him because everyone knew how arrogant and overbearing he was. He was too full of himself and felt he was better than everyone else. I wonder which maiden would even agree to marry Prince Chibuzo, one of the maidens said as they went to the stream to fetch water. My dear, another maiden said, the man is so full of himself and arrogant. Any girl going for that showcase at the palace just wants a taste of royalty, that's all. Exactly my point, another maiden said. I have never seen anyone so rude and undermining like Prince Chibuzo. I'd rather remain unmarried than marry him, they said and went their way. Meanwhile, in the village, there was a poor farmer that had a beautiful daughter called Oledo. Oledo was sent to stay with her grandmother a long time ago in one of the villages to help her out when she fell ill, as she had no one else. When her grandmother passed on, she came back home. However, one time, when Oledo's mom was sick, her father ran to the palace for help, and the prince helped him on the condition that one day he'll get his money back one way or the other. One day, Prince Chibuzo saw Oledo on her way back from the stream, and he was stunned because he had never seen her before in the village. Hey, maiden, over here, one of the guards shouted, beckoning her to come. She was confused for a moment, but she came. Who are you? Prince Chibuzo asked. My name is Oledo, daughter of Nweke the farmer. Oledo said. Oh, I see, Prince Chibuzo said in amusement. Go home and tell your old man to see me at the palace immediately, he said. Yes, my prince, Oledo responded and hurriedly left his presence. That evening, Oledo's father rushed to the palace immediately to avoid Prince Chibuzo's wrath. Good to see you, my friend, Prince Chibuzo said to him. Remember I told you that I would get my payment somehow, someday. Well, today is the day. Oledo's father stood confused and wondering what the prince would ask for. Well, I see you have a somehow beautiful daughter, though she's not up to my taste, but I will manage her. Time is running out and I need to get a bride, so prepare her to be the prince's bride. Oledo's father was too stunned to speak, but when he eventually got himself, But my prince, what I owe you is just 100 calories. You can't just take my daughter for that. Please, she's all we have. Are you challenging my authority? Prince Chibuzo shouted. Prepare your daughter to be my wife. We're coming for her in 4 market days, and that is final, he said and walked away. Oledo's father stood in total shock and managed to find his way home. When he got home and relayed the events of the day to his wife and daughter, they were all confused and in tears. But they didn't have a choice, did they? Because they didn't want Prince Chibuzo's wrath on their family. As 4 market days drew closer, Oledo was eventually prepared to be the prince's wife. The marriage ceremony was conducted and she moved into the palace. As days turned into weeks and weeks into months, King Ikenga eventually died, and Prince Chibuzo was crowned king of Ulo. Just like he was an arrogant prince, he was even more a tyrant king. He treated Oledo so badly, he brought in other maidens to the palace at random, some willingly and some out of their will. He never cared how his wife felt about his actions, even when she tried to confront him. "Don't you ever in your life speak to me in that manner again. I am King Chibuzo. I own you and everything in this village, so I can do whatever I please. Now get out of my presence," he screamed at her, and she fled his presence. As time went on, Oledo found out that she was with child. That was the happiest day of her life, as she felt that this child would bring more joy and purpose to her life. As days turned into weeks, and weeks into months, with her pregnancy growing, Prince Chibuzo didn't change towards her even though she was pregnant. He still treated her so badly and kept on bringing other women to the palace. Then one day, on his way back from the neighboring village, close to the Eke River, he saw the most beautiful maiden he had ever seen all his life. The exact woman of his dreams. The woman he always saw in his dreams. He was speechless. He eventually spoke to her and asked where she was from, and he took her home there and then. From then on, she became his all in all. He totally forgot about his wife and unborn child, and even his duties as the king of Ulo town. It was just like she hypnotized him. Everything she wanted, he gave her or did for her. He finally had the woman of his dreams. It was just like Oledo never even existed. As weeks turned into months, Oledo was in labor, and the village midwife was immediately summoned for the delivery. King Chibuzo couldn't be bothered because the only important person to him was his dream-perfect wife, Akeke, who was already carrying his child. Oledo gave birth to a healthy baby boy. He was presented to King Chibuzo, as was the custom, but King Chibuzo couldn't even give them the time of day. He just looked at him briefly and muttered a few words of prayer, and the baby was taken from him. As time went on, Prince Ikenna was growing well and fast, very healthy and handsome. Oledo vowed to do better with her son and train him rightly. He was her only joy in the palace, but she would never spoil him, just like her husband was spoiled. One day, the king's dream wife, Akweke, asked him to accompany her to take a walk to the river without his guards. She claimed that she needed the fresh breeze from the water to calm her down and privacy with her husband. King Chibuzo went with her, of course, without any thought. When they got to the river, she held his hand and walked into the water. "Wait, where are we going? You didn't say you wanted to swim," Chibuzo said. "My king, relax. I just want the water to touch my feet a little. Just come with me, please," she said. Because he would do absolutely anything she wanted, he walked with her into the water, and immediately by some divine force, they both disappeared. After a while, when night fell and King Chibuzo hadn't returned, the guards began to panic and look for him. His wife Oledo was worried. They looked for him every day for days and weeks, close to the river, as people saw him last along that path. The whole village couldn't even be bothered because he was a bad king. To some, he shouldn't ever be found at all. After some months, they stopped the search and hoped that he would return someday. Oledo had enough to take care of her and raise her son, so she left the palace with Ikenna and went home. She didn't want anything to do with the lost king again. A new king was crowned in his stead. History has it that King Chibuzo and his dream wife's whereabouts is still a mystery till date. Nobody knows what happened to him till date. What do you think happened to King Chibuzo? Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this story. Share your thoughts in the comment section. What do you think happened to King Chibuzo? Thank you so much again for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to our channel if you haven't. Thank you. See you in our next one. Bye.